Work hard, dude. That's right, man. Yeah, next week, right? Yeah, yeah. All right, take care, Dave. All right, we'll see. Thank you.
Okay, tough loss. Really good football team, obviously, you know, a team that'll be contending for the national championship, and they served it up pretty good to us today. So thing I was proud of is the attitude and the effort of our young men. They kept fighting. You know, this is not the situation that you'd like to say you were able to play a lot of young guys. You'd like it to be in a situation where you were up 59-0. But we did get a chance to play a ton of young guys, and we're going to move forward with some of those young guys. You know, we brought in a good recruiting class, and we're going to give them a chance to play. And I'm not going to say they're going to start or they're supplanting anybody or anything like that, but there's some good young athletes on this team that we're going to start force feeding, and we did so today a little bit more in the second half. So we got to go back to the drawing board. We've got to continue to work hard, to believe that we can make progress regardless of the score. We got to stay together, believe in each other, trust each other, support each other, hold each other accountable to our standard, and that's what we're going to do. It's a really good group of young men, and they're determined to find a way, and they're determined to maximize their abilities. And I think this can be a game, as disappointing as it was, that we grow from. So that's what we're gonna focus on.
Jim, is Zion just overwhelmed at this point, or you feel like he's weathering the storm and maybe getting better? What do you see?
I hate to say that he was overwhelmed. I think we were overwhelmed as an offense today. I wouldn't put it on Zion, but I understand the question, you know, and it can be really daunting to be a freshman quarterback in that environment. I mean, that is you know, I've watched two defenses this year that just absolutely jump out at me on film, and that's Michigan and that's Georgia. They are elite defenses, as good as I've ever seen in college football. And they, you know, they put the brakes on us today. And I think it'd be easy to say that Zion's overwhelmed, maybe because of experience, but I don't think emotionally overwhelmed, you know.
Well, I guess that's what I was asking. How is he handling the situation?
He's handling it okay. You know, what I would like to see, and we've talked about him with it, is just more of a sense of urgency out of him. But I think part of that is him trying to figure things out. This is not the situation we wanted him to be in. You know, Taquan was our starter, but this is a situation we find ourselves in. And so we have to continue to work really hard to find things that he's comfortable doing that work for him. Unfortunately, today, you know, we were going against a defense that they don't have a weakness. They do not have a single weakness on that football team. That's a great college football team and a great defense. And they made it really, it's an understatement, right, to say they made it really difficult on us.
Jim, the two miscues we had on special teams, the block punt and then the punt return that they had, what do you attribute those to? Was it just a lack of execution?
The first one was the block. I think anytime you get a block, number one, you have to look back at your scheme, and you have to evaluate as coaches whether or not you gave you guys a chance to have a successful down. I probably should have called timeout there. I don't know that we were as settled as we should have been. The punt return was simply, we had, I think, 5 guys down there around him, and you have to tackle. I mean, football is a violent physical game that commands a certain amount of courage and a certain amount of freaking will and a certain amount of ability to absorb some pain and lay it out. And we went down there, and for some reason we were a little hesitant, which I haven't seen out of these guys, you know. So and I'm not saying that they don't have courage and that they won't play through pain, because they will, because they're good young men. I'm just saying on that play, I don't know, we just didn't tackle. We were hesitant, and it's a little bewildering. I'm not sure why. I need to find out why.
Defensively, I know it might be a little deceiving because of the 59 points, but you had several tackles tackles for loss. You had guys making plays in the backfield like Brandon Boyer Randall. That must have been nice to see, an encouraging sign for your defense.
Yeah, when you sit here right after a game, it's hard to think about good things when you get you get it handed to you like that. But I think that as we go back and look at some of those things, like you said, there are things we can build on. I think Brandon has been a really good player for us through the first four games. I mean, he plays with the relentlessness that you really respect. He does make plays in the run game and the pass game. He can rush the passer. We move him all over the field. Eric Watts is another guy like that. Of course, Jackson Mitchell and Ian Dalmont, those guys they're guys that really care and they play good football. And we just need to continue to work hard to surround them with guys that, play with that same type of energy. And we're finding those guys, we're finding them. And it's today disguises some of the things that, that we did do well, because I've never been beat 59-0 ever in 35 years. So this is kind of, new territory. So it's hard to find good things. It's hard.
Why have you watched Georgia film?
Why? Well, they played Michigan last year in the college football playoff. And so as we were breaking them down, and I love watching good defense. I'm a defensive, supposedly a defensive coach. Doesn't look like one today. So.
And then I guess outside of just the score, what makes you say that Michigan is
elite?
Michigan is, yeah, exactly.
Because they have 140 players that are big, fast, strong, physical, well coached. They play with violence. They play with energy. They don't miss tackles. They challenge you. They run the ball well. They pass the ball well. Their quarterback runs it well. They've got speed all over the field. I mean, I don't know if you saw it in pregame. I mean, I looked down in pregame warm-up. It looked like an army down there. I mean, they had so many players, and they're all great players. They're all great players. So that's why I think, they are a contender for the national championship right now. It's not in dispute, in my opinion.
I'm sure you knew from day one that this would be a process.
Mm-hmm.
There would probably be days like this. Does that make it any easier for you to accept?
Mm-mm. No. Like I said, I've never had a day like this in my career. So it's a new experience. I don't like it. Those guys don't like it. They don't like it probably more than I don't like it, because they were the ones out there, spilling their guts on every play. What is encouraging to me is their attitude. We've all been in games that get away a little bit. Oftentimes you see when you start putting young guys in and you're getting beat, like when you put young guys in and you're winning, everybody's up and, encouraging them. When you put young guys in and you're losing, I think at times, the older guys, they go lick their wounds, they go sit down there. And that's not what I saw on this team today. And so that's encouraging to me. The way they enter the locker room afterwards, not joyous, very determined, but they're not defeated. They're not defeated. And so we have to build on those things. And it is a process. And what we asked them to do at halftime is, and I said this when I first got the job, is that there's going to be some times when, or really not sometimes, all the times, that we have to evaluate this team based upon our effort and our ability, or our willingness to compete when times are tough and ignore the score. And that's what I asked them to do at halftime. And like I said, we need to, look at the film and see who really did that and, who didn't. And the guys that did that, then we're going to play them. And the guys that didn't, they're either going to do it or it's going to be tough for them to find the field. My hunch is that we're not going to find a lot of guys that didn't compete and didn't play hard.
Injury-wise, anything?
Yeah, I mean, Nate, he's got a second-degree shoulder separation. We were down to two backs. We had Victor Rosa. Really, we're down to one back, Victor, because Burnsy's a fullback for us, but he played halfback. I don't know. Yeah, we moved one of our safeties to running back late in the week. So, we'll see what it looks like when we get out of here. And I think Nate's an incredibly tough young man. I mean, it killed him not to play. He came in here. I mean, they worked on several different pads during the first and second quarter to try to get him comfortable. He went out there and he went after it. And I mean, it was just not the right thing to do to leave him in the football game. He could not protect himself, and we are not going to do that. Okay.
Anything online, guys? Yes, no? Okay, thank you, Coach.
All right.
Thanks, Coach. Either way, watch the court. Thanks. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Against their offense, against a guy like JJ McCarthy, who, can hurt you with his arm and legs. What was the game plan, trying to try and stop him or limit him, and what was he doing to really elude you guys for most of the game?
So I mean, he was able to run the ball and pass it through the gaps in our zones. I feel like just got to do a better job executing. But I feel like we're definitely making strides to get in there and looking forward to the rest of the season, getting over these humps.
Is there something that you could take from this game that might help you later in the year? And I know it wasn't a good experience, I'm sure it's today, but something.
Well, definitely, we're going to go back and we're going to watch the film. We're going to evaluate and we're going to look at, what happened. And, we're just going to try to get better on the detail on what we're supposed to be doing and our execution. Really, I feel like, any game is good because it just gives you progress on what you're doing, and it gives you another chance to evaluate yourself in game. So, I just feel like this is, obviously we didn't get the result we wanted, but it's just, we're going to watch the film, like I said, and hey, we're just going to get better from here.
Coach said that when you guys got back to the locker room, you weren't defeated. You still had the right attitude. What was it like in the locker room after this game? It was a conversation.
We didn't want to lay down. We don't want to, you know what I'm saying? We just want to keep our attitude high, and this team, we're definitely making strides to be a good team and be better than we have in the past. And that's the main goal, and that's what we instilled in our brains on the whole entire team. So we got a long season, and we know we got, obviously we just played the number 4 team in the country. But we got a long season, and we're optimistic about what we can do as a team. So
Seemed like the defensive line played well. Today they made some plays in the backfield. Had some tackles for loss. Can you just talk about how they did today and how they kind of helped you out?
yeah, those guys, Dow, Watts, those big guys, they're putting in work, and just need them to keep playing hard, and we all just gonna keep getting better together and staying together and keeping our goal in mind, and shoot, long season. So let's go.
Any Zoom questions? Thanks. Nope.
I think we're good, Phil.
Okay, very good. Thanks, Brandon.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks, Phil.